All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Golden Kamuy, Season 3, Episode 12. Season finale.
Peak.
Peak, because we've been, just having that just as a regular thing in
Cannot
this show.
stop peaking.
Yep. And yet, are people's lives going to peak here? Like as in, and then fall off sharply? Mm-hmm. Dramatically, immediately?
Surrendered to the flow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, one person's isn't. And I'm very excited about that.
Oh, me too.
Because you're going to live, Ogata.
You're going to live.
Yep. Just like Reiner. You can't die.
Exactly. It's true. It's true.
But, Koito.
Holy shit.
You is in danger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we know your name now.
Right.
And that's a
Got
bad
it written
thing.
down.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But, okay. Kiroranke. Big knife wound.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped that.
Yep.
Now he's going to have to carry that weight. So
that's right.
Now everybody is kind of on the up and up in the Sugimoto side of things now because we have a Sherpa. So do we just leave?
I think...
Book it out of here, head back to Japan?
I think after they catch up to Kiroranke and he's dead because of the knife wound and everything, then they need to piss on him. Or does he not deserve that? He doesn't deserve to be pissed on.
No. I don't think Kiroranke is as bad as all that. It's more the thing of that he was the one that tried to do what he could to manipulate a Sherpa to get the stuff with his golden stuff. He's a revolutionary. He's not evil. In some ways, Ogata's worse than him. For sure. Oh,
debatable.
Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah, it's finale time, y'all. So without further ado, let's get into this. Yeah, they're leaving.
All right.
Yeah, they don't have any reason to be here.
Yep.
Yeah. Right, he betrayed them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, but I think it's the main thing is that Kiroranke is the reason that he got sent to Abashiri.
I think so, yeah.
Oh! Oh!
Yeah!
Oh!
Holy shit!
Oh!
There we go!
Oh my god!
What?
These guys are menaces!
Ah! Ah!
Holy shit. It has to be me.
No!
Oh! You fucking menace! Oh! How? Oh! Oh!
Holy shit!
Only an anime! Fucking love this!
He wasn't gonna make anybody jump on another bomb for him again.
Uh-huh. Yep, it's all gone to shit. Yeah. Oh, damn!
Wow.
Sophia's
shit.
built different!
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
All those little things, yep. Yep. Cool. I could never go with them. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He told me something before he died.
Yeah. Yeah. No! Come on.
アシリパトやら、お前を確保するために我々は来た。
Yeah. Drops Ogata like a bag of potatoes. That just gives me such catharsis.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeet. Oh my god! Yes!
Yeah.
Ah! He's here! Oh! Oh! Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's carrying. Tsukishima, look, he's a child.
Yeah.
Kill me. You can let me die now.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
That looks like an end of a chapter panel right there. Yeah. Yep. So Sophia goes to, yep.
Yeah.
Kiddo.
どうして尾形はキロラン家と組んでいたのか。この男が少数民族の独立に興
Yep. Well, we now know actually quite a bit. Yeah, there you go. Write a letter, exactly.
Oh, all right.
Thank you. Mangaka's like, I'm bankrolling my entire future right here.
Yep. Do you think so?
You just made me so happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a bad spirit about him.
Literal translation. But that dude got fucked up.
I thought they were gonna go for the angle like, no, he's a bit, fucked in the head, like. Ooh, Shirpa, that's your decision, maybe, right? He still can't get it.
Yeah.
Oh. Damn. Yeah. Well, we don't really save him that much, but yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
It's for his ship. Oh.
That's fair. That's fair.
Cool. Then he's serious.
Yeah, okay.
He's a good doctor. I love it. A saved life is a saved life. It doesn't matter who they are. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good line. Nice and simple.
Yep. So you're sure Ogata will live? Yep. Bang, bang. All right, cool. You didn't do it, Sherpa. Don't worry.
Oh. Shit. It's my turn. I'm going to impart my immortal energy into him.
Yeah.
You need to live!
Yeah. Right.
Oh my god!
Holy shit!
He's like smiling!
Yeah.
He could have made the doctor say that potentially to be like, you guys should leave.
Or he just is so used to being close to death that... Oh.
Oh, the doctor, yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, if you do that, then... Yeah. Holy shit.
Fuck.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
I am inspired.
That
I am
was
inspired.
incredible. Oh man, that was wonderful.
What a way to have a character
Yeah.
be snatched from the claws of death.
Uh-huh.
お茶から何か聞いたのか。
アシリパは山で潜伏し、ゲリラとなって戦えるよし。
Right.
杉本はどうするんだ。このまま鶴見注意に協力して入れ墨認否を集めるのか。
従うつもりはねえけど、入れ墨認否を全部取られたし、現状で一番近海に近いのは鶴見注意だ。
Yeah.
まずは近海を見つけてやるさ。
Yeah.
相棒の契約更新だ。
All right.
All right. That's a way to end a season. Oh my god.
確かに俺には金が必要だ。だがそれと同じぐらい
Right.
大切なことがある。
Yep.
見つけて全てを終わらせる。アシリパさんを。
Right. Right. Not gonna let her father's will actually pass on to her. Wow.
Wow. That was delightful. That like
Wonderful
I
finale.
love the way that they're like, ah yes, Ogata got saved. Yeah, to live, all this stuff. And Ogata is, in the grand scheme of things, not important.
No.
But goddamn.
Because he was the first person that Ashirpa would have killed.
Yeah.
And so the way in which he panics, thinking, "Oh, Ogata fled," but then he runs out and sees Ashirpa. He's like, "Ogata fled," meaning
Yeah.
like
He's alive and
he's
well.
alive and well. And I love the way that this could be setting up that when the doctor came out, he might have already had the nurse with scissors.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
then he's like, "You need to tell them that I'm going to die. I won't make it till morning."
Right.
And then that's it.
Yep.
And then just don't let them come back in here, just,
Right.
Because
And-
they shouldn't have any reason to. They'll just abandon me and stuff.
Exactly.
But then, of course, Ogata didn't
Sugimoto's
necessarily
like-
plan for
Yeah.
the Sugimoto way of doing things.
Right. Yeah, that was was
yeah.
awesome.
So then he basically is like, okay, if in order to save her life, I'm going to punch you. You need to lie here and, open the window so that this looks like it all, went
yeah,
out this way
exactly.
and
Like
stuff.
I killed you and got away. Yeah.
Right, right.
And then they'll, okay, they're coming back in to, to check. Cool. They'll just think I'm already gone, and that will actually give me the opportunity to get away, which
Right,
it did.
right.
Yeah, and the so so the fact though that Ogata didn't kill anybody in that whole situation.
Yes, true.
I'm just saying, like that's I think it is definitely from within his own perspective of the cold and calculating, hey, I want to make sure that this stays as easy to manipulate as possible.
Right. They were all tools that played their parts so that he
Yeah.
could get out of this just
and
fine.
like with Koito, it's now if I shoot you here, that's gonna
make noise.
That's
and
gonna
they'll
make
know I am.
noise,
It's,
right.
It's very, very logical and cold and rational why he kept them all alive. But he still did keep them all
but he
alive.
still kept them all alive. And so like it's one of those things where it's like,
I see what you're doing here.
and yet then he gets to have the magnificent like villain exit on the horse, spreading his arms wide,
Well, basically naked.
yeah, just laughing as the protagonists are shooting after him because he knows they're not going to kill him,
Yeah.
right? Like,
He literally had his "I'm Fujimi,"
yeah,
Ogata, basically.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Wow.
that was absolutely delightful, and I love that because it was kind of confirmed that like, yeah, his motivations don't exactly line up to a lot of the other stuff, the other players in the game.
Sure.
He's a wild card moving forward. He could have just disappeared out of the story, and we're never going to see him again.
Nah.
But I don't think so.
He's
You know,
too dang cool.
Right. But he's certainly going to be in the unaffiliated kind of ranks, moving
For
forward.
at some point, for
Yeah.
at least some amount of time in the future.
Right.
Which is fun because then it's wait. So in some ways we're going to be working within Tsurumi's group here so that we can then make this so nobody ends up getting access to the
Right, because like
gold.
I love that they pointed out they're like, well, Tsurumi does have most of the skins. So
Oh, yeah,
he's
Tsurumi's
the
winning.
closest, right?
But Hijikata's still out there.
Hijikata's still out there.
Yep.
And
Sophia's out there. She might
And-
not ever come back because she cares more about, Russia and everything.
and
than-
Ashirpa's out there. And I love
Yes.
that they didn't even let it be known, because of course they wouldn't, that Sherpa figured it out. She told Sugimoto, but she didn't even tell him what the thing was, right? And so the only person who actually knows that she's figured it out right now is Ogata.
Kiroranke dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Ogata.
Great.
Yeah.
Right? Like, awesome.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Ogata could leverage that information to do quite a lot. There's so much that could happen here.
But yeah, Kiroranke, let's not let him get completely overshadowed by Ogata, even though that was incredible. The cutting, like him constantly just doing extra things to try and fuck them over, right? The bombs, and then Koito cutting the bomb out of the air, like
that was so fucking anime.
That was so anime, and yet it was just that right amount of anime where it's like it doesn't like take us completely out of the seriousness of this gritty
because he pulled the bomb out of his ass, so then he's gonna pull the anime move out of his ass.
And it's the coming full circle on the fact that he left a bomb there before, and one of your men got hurt because of it, right?
Right.
So
and Koito's not going to let that happen again.
No.
I love that as well, because Koito as the character is the contradiction of the character who you'd think has their rank by nepotism, not by actual skill, has shown time and time again over the course of this season that no, he deserves to be, respected as a soldier.
You don't have necessarily the same experience that Tsukishima has.
No, but Tsukishima gave him the acknowledgement, and thus Koito gave him the food of you good boy, and then just blah, and
just leaves it there. Like
that was great.
That was
great comedy, wonderful. But Kiroranke is dead.
Yep.
Kiroranke is dead. Sophia got to say goodbye to him, but Kiroranke did not get to say goodbye to her. I do feel like this is the comeuppance of the traitor, the Judas in the midst of this plot and this cast. But I do still feel for him, because he's the character that believed in the impossible,
what he was doing,
the impossible thing. He actually did want all of this. In some ways, I feel for him in that he probably felt that Wilk didn't trust him to carry this all the way through. For good reason.
And we still don't know exactly what it was that caused them to have the falling out.
Right. But I believe that Kiroranke, as almost his apology to Vilk for what he did, wanted to still take up the will of what he was originally wanting to do. Being like, you never trusted me with the plan. You never trusted me to go all the way with this. I'll show you that I was
you could have trusted me.
You could, yes. Yeah. I loved you. I believed in you fully. Why did you not believe in me fully? And I love the idea that he dies never knowing that that opportunity to whether he was worthy of it. I don't know. There's something about someone reaching for the stars and reaching for their crazy dream, but they had to do so much and sacrifice so much in order to get there that they lost sight in some ways of who they even were.
Oh yeah, like
that even Sophia's like, you bastard, like I'll never forgive you for what you did to him.
Right, like even if there's an aspect of this is I'm going to keep alive the dream and the vision that you painted for me.
Right.
He still gave the signal to be like, yeah, okay, that's him. Kill him. Right?
Because because in some ways he felt betrayed by Vilk too.
Yep.
I love that we don't get the answers for what their full story was outside of the little things that we did learn from the backstory and stuff like that. But who killed the Ainu? I thought it was Kiroranke. I thought that was what was being implied. It
still could have been, right? Like there are parties involved that are now dead, and without all the info about them being shared. So it could mean that, oh hey, there's other players out there, and that's who is more relevant to the situation, or that we find out later. Oh,
there's a big player out there who knows a lot.
Hijikata?
No. Tsurumi.
Well, yeah.
Who knew a lot of the things that these people were doing. He watched them plan their whole little revolution and everything like that. They inspired him with the idea for how to basically build a nation. Now he has his whole thing with building a nation in Hokkaido.
Yeah.
Which he gave us in the very beginning of season 1. Like, in some ways, the story made a very clear meta decision to have him give the most clear motivation of all the side antagonists to what he's aiming for in the long run. So the fact that that's never been, altered, or it's never been readdressed in a way because it's not changed in any way, it's it's something where we now have the recontextualization as to why he wanted to do that maybe more than like, or how he came to that idea in the first place.
That was something that could be done. Yeah.
So he might have even been the one that killed the Ainu.
Maybe.
There's a couple things that are left open here that I want to see how they tie back to characters like Tsurumi, for instance.
Yeah, it's with everything that happened this season, it would be very easy for the prospect of the next season to feel like something where you're going in with like less momentum, impact, force, etc. Because
things have simplified a lot.
Things have simplified a lot, and the motivations at play have altered for several of the characters to the point where the gold itself, like it was almost part of the commentary,
right?
Of what people will do for gold, right?
But now there's not much holding them back from eventually finding it.
Yeah, and we do seem fairly close given how the whole skin game has been going, which has been the main
obviously Hijikata
factor up until now.
At least one. So
right,
he's,
yeah.
He's going to
so there's still stuff that has to happen.
Right.
But I like how this episode set up the next season.
Yeah.
Because there are still things to be done. And I like the idea of it being smaller in scale. If Tsurumi is in such a secure position of having mostly won, then that means kind of we don't really need to deal with him right now, and then we can deal with other stuff that is a lot smaller scale, where it's not the oh shit, how do we deal with a whole army that is against us, right? It's the we'll figure that out tomorrow. Right now, we have other things to deal with.
Yeah, the part that I could see as being really fun is that Hijikata starts building his own group, and it gets large enough to where he has to actually, Tsurumi has to actually deal with them directly. Mm-hmm. Or it's the thing of where Tsurumi's actions end up spilling forth and causing problems in the Japan, just political side of things.
Sure, yeah.
There's a couple things that they go with there. But also the idea that Sugimoto's main goal is to pull Ashirpa away from this war so that she can live the life of peace.
I like it.
And how similar that was to what Ogata offered Ashirpa.
Yes.
When he had stared her down in the previous episode.
That's the thing. I think that what Ogata offered her was good. Mm-hmm. The problem is not whether or not what he offered her was good. It's that she couldn't trust him because he was, right? So it's the...
yes, of course. Yeah. I'm just saying it's fun from a parallel sense that they offered the exact same thing.
Even someone as fucked up in the head as Ogata could realize that is the most important thing.
Right. He knows what's best for someone like Ashirpa here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, fucking love it. And now they're headed back to Japan. Mm-hmm. Everyone's okay. I was really scared for Tsukishima, but I love that we even started poking comedy at where his situation is, because it's like, no, he's fine. And then the idea of then going into town, grabbing a doctor, forcing them to end up doing this, and then it's like, oh, I recognize that you're Japanese. Well, shit, that's going to make this faster. Okay,
all right.
Go or we're going to kill you.
Yeah.
This guy's a good doctor, ended up actually just saving their lives because, nope, he's a good doctor. I love how much this story doesn't try to paint any specific country or group or race of people in any kind of overtly negative light because of where they were born or what culture they have or something like that. There's something so respectful about the way that Golden Kamuy treats all the people of different groups and stuff.
Which is funny because I wouldn't expect respectful to be the kind of term to use for Golden Kamuy, given that it's the show where it's the, all right, now piss on this kid's face, right? Like, in the middle of this flashback montage, we get the, we're all naked in the the sauna together, right?
Right,
like,
they absolutely lean into the caricatures for comedy's sake. That is absolutely
But
there.
yeah, when it comes to the actual different cultures and things,
drama,
it is very it does seem very respectful in a way that I feel like doesn't often happen in general, but
I think that's also because historical fiction is very rare as far as storytelling in anime.
Yeah.
Or in a lot of ways, it's because it's a primarily Japanese-only focused story because it's dealing with Japanese mythology in historical fiction and stuff like that. So that makes sense then that it would be entirely respectful because there's not much comparison needed to be made. But this one also, yes, I think we just have high expectations in that regard as well because the Ainu are such a big focus
it goes deep and
educational
hard and
side of things.
Yeah,
right. So the fact that even is extended to the enemies of the Japanese during that war, that is kind of wild to just think about because in a lot of ways, most countries don't do this even overtly. They do it like subtly to make sure that they're covering their bases, but they won't be so like, oh look, like this doctor, he absolutely would save the lives of these soldiers.
Let's
even
show
though,
how legit awesome the Ainu are, right?
So really cool. And now we're headed to season 4, which apparently was animated by a new studio.
That is interesting.
So I am a little bit worried. I'm hopeful that we're still going to get just the same quality of storytelling, obviously. But there have been the clear upgrades that
we
seasons
have come to
1, 2,
appreciate.
and 3 have gotten from the previous ones. Season 2 and 3 have gotten from the previous seasons because of the studio getting more
familiar with this
and more
work
familiar with it.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah. So I hope that we keep that quality.
Yes.
Despite switching studios. I think the only thing left to mention is really just maybe just Ashirpa's character having gone through all this and most people making decisions for her. I feel like one of the things I would like to see in the next season is because this season ended with a character making a decision for her, lying to basically say, hey, no, your father didn't give me anything new or anything like that. I'm going to hide the fact that he wanted you to basically live a life of war and conflict for his dream that he had passed on to you. I would like to see Ashirpa making more impactful decisions. Maybe we have a little bit of a time skip to denote the time that it takes to travel back to Japan or something like that.
We could totally get something like that, both in the time skip and also in the Ashirpa having more like agency because...
And also maybe just needing to find more skins. Like that takes a little bit of time.
Needing to find more skins, but then also, even though she wasn't like an overt prisoner for this season, she was definitely getting like manipulated and guided and led around. So like that's where, her confrontation with Ogata kind of is her chance to really showcase, her own decision making and things like that. And now
it's a powerful one because she decided not to kill him.
Right. Yes. And given that whole situation is now changed, I would not be surprised if we got a lot more of a Sherpa guiding things in different ways in the next season, even if it is something just as simple as, hey, there's this animal I want to eat, and I'm going to make something really tasty.
Right, and it can be a fun way for her and Sugimoto to have their own group amidst Tsurumi's, and Tsurumi also to not press in and try to divide that.
Right, he's too good of a manipulator to try that.
Yeah, he's smart enough to know that it's not worth it to do that just for the sake of it, because he does need a Sherpa.
Right.
But also the idea that, if a Sherpa doesn't need the gold, she needs still more answers with regards to her past.
I can help supply that.
She's actually not...
Our interests might be aligned,
She's not really against Tsurumi's decisions in that regard.
Yeah.
And if Tsurumi ends up being the one who's like, no, I actually kind of want a version of what Vilk wanted, Tsurumi could end up being the hero in a weird way. In a weird, twisted way. This fucked up son of a bitch could end up being viewed as
being viewed and playing that role for a bit.
Right,
totally.
right. Yes.
In actuality, in the long term.
No, of course. But you see where I'm going with this,
absolutely.
Right?
Tsurumi has a lot to work with. He's a great improviser, great schemer. I fully believe that he could take just about anything that someone gives him as an offering with regards to motivation and things like that, and spin it to his advantage and also their advantage in some way, right? Because it's the eventually we'll be bitter enemies and all that stuff, but for now, this is actually pretty good.
I see ways that we can work together, and that excites me.
Yeah, the fact that Tsurumi barely was even in this season from an actual like immediate presence standpoint, and yet. Just
we can't help but mention
his
him
presence was all throughout it with the backstories and everything. So
and his men being present here and doing their mission.
It's delightful.
It's probably one of my favorite things to just add another final thing that's very extraneous with regards to this discussion. But I love when a cast of characters are so well developed, or at least so well treated in their development that happens in this side story effectively, that the side story that this effectively was, that season 3 was, of, hey, we're going to go rescue a Sherpa, and it's just a little mini rescue arc that closes a full loop, and it's kind of, it doesn't progress the overall
it's the
long-form narrative.
Like, we started with oh, we need her to remember the secret to cracking the code. At the end of the season, she remembers the secret to cracking the code. But we took a whole season getting to that point.
Right. So in terms of progress, very little was made because we undid everything that Kiroranke did, which is his own punishment for basically that he gave a Sherpa a greater connection and respect for the Ainu and what her father did and sacrificed in order to get her to the place that she is right now.
Yep.
Wonderful. We've redeemed essentially the aspects of Kiroranke's pain and trauma that he wrought upon the cast and the characters and stuff. But the fact that we basically spent time having the characters all go on a little side story, a little closed loop thing here, got so close to all of them, the ones especially that went, had so much internal development with all of them that we're now coming back to the main story with Tsurumi and Hijikata are kind of our two, old forces in this story, being essentially reintroduced wherever they're currently at right now. And we're so much more attached. I love these kinds of narratives so much because they're usually some of the laziest, but there's so much potential that you have if you do these kinds of things. Because
there's so much stuff that ends up happening that there's a lot of ways that you can do it badly. Well, but if you do it well, there's a lot of ways you can do it well.
I get what you're saying, that there's a lot of things that can be done well. Yeah. I just think in terms of that, there's in some ways that there's usually so little progress being made that's why it's done really poorly, is that they don't fill it with anything. It ends up being filler. It ends up being the
right. And this was a situation where it's that whole idea of wait a minute, I get that filler sometimes happens, but why does the filler feel uninspired? Right. You can make whatever the hell you want.
Exactly. Right. It's brimming with potential. We got Tsukishima backstory. We got Kiroranke backstory. We got Vilk backstory. We got fucking Tsurumi backstory. Ogata backstory. We got so much backstory came in this season that it could be the backstory, season.
And that also could be a bunch of really just intense moments and everything where the action really felt, impactful and all of that stuff. Even though at the end of the day, Kiroranke was the only one that died. And he's kind of the obvious person that needs to die, right? Right. With regards to this season and everything. So
I even had a weird prediction where he actually lived because there's a couple things that would be missing in the story from an antagonistic side of things if he wasn't in the story, and yet Sugimoto addressed those specifically by being hey,
we still haven't figured out all the answers for that.
Well, right, but he specifically didn't give a Sherpa the answer. And the reason why he did it closed off in my mind the reason why we would need a Kiroranke in the story.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I like it. Yeah.
So I just, so good. Yeah. Some of my favorite stories basically end up doing the side story to go deep into the characters because they realize that we actually needed that a lot more than we needed main plot progression. And having a convenient thing of, a Sherpa gets split up at the climactic, kind of semi-finale battle of Abashiri Prison with the whole stuff with Vilk and the father and stuff, and then ends up creating this whole mini arc in season 3 that I'm that was very, in my opinion, that was just very efficient, clever writing to take the consequences of this climactic battle and use it to then explore the characters on this very simple, singular, focused journey expedition.
Right.
And yet not feel like we're wasting time or the tension is being
because there were
lowered
definitely the points in season 1 and season 2 or when it's we're getting to the prison or something like that, and then something happens that throws us off. The episodes would still be fun, but they definitely would sometimes make there be that sense of tension lost or are the stakes really as pressing and present and everything because we're still doing these other things. Whereas with this, I feel like it flowed a lot better. It just, I don't know, it felt pretty natural.
Yeah.
But yeah, wonderful season. Let's get the next one.
Can't wait for season 4. And if you want to see the first episode's reaction of season 4 right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.